Namaste, yogis. This is going to be a really quick practice for your core. It's about 40 minutes. Hi, puppy. My little dog puppy might be joining us now and again, so you can enjoy her. But we're going to get started right away on your back. You'll need 2 yoga blocks if you have them, but you can make do if you don't, with a really thick, sturdy book. And a blanket or a thick towel would be preferable as we get started to put some cushioning down on top of your yoga mat. So when you're ready to go, cushioning or no cushioning, that's personal preference, it's up to you, but come on down onto your back. Start with your knees bent, your feet flat, and your knees knocking against each other. Rest your hands on your belly and take a deep breath in through your nose. And a slow, deep breath back out through your nose. And do that again, a deep breath in through your nose. And a slow, deep breath back out through your nose. Take one more like that. Deep breath in through your nose. And a slow, deep breath back out through your nose. Now, separate your knees and feet so they're both hip distance apart and interlace your hands behind your head. We're going to add in a little bit of a cat-cow for the spine, a little back bend and a little crunch. So as you inhale, I want you to arch your back. You're going to rock your pelvis forward, create a bridge between your low back and the floor, and then let that arch climb up as high as you comfortably can. Push your elbows back into the floor. As you exhale, relax your spine to neutral first. Then hug your navel down, lengthen your tailbone, tighten your ribs, tighten your chest, and if you can, lift your head up, but lead with your breastbone. So lower back down, relax your spine, then inhale and arch your back gently. Exhale, flatten your back, squeeze your front body into your back body and curl up. See if you can get your shoulder blades to lift. So back and forth now with your breath. Inhale and arch. You don't have to necessarily move with my breath. Exhale, relax first, then tighten the front body into the back body and curl up. Let's take 2 more like that. Inhale, arch your back. Exhale, relax first, then zip your navel down towards your spine to curl up. And 1 more. Inhale, arch. And exhale, crunch. Good. And then relax that for a moment. Stretch your legs out long. Take your arms overhead. Interlace your fingers. Turn your palms back toward the wall behind you. Now take a little baby arch again, a little baby back bend. This time really flare your ribs and your breastbone up toward the ceiling. Take a big inhalation. Out through your mouth this time. Unwind your fingers and change the interlacing. Turn your palms back again. Stretch your arms as long as they can go. But this time, take the back bend out of it. Knit your ribs down and in. Lengthen your tailbone towards your heels. Now stretch out. Big breath in. And out through your mouth. Good. Now keep your legs out long like this and bring your feet together. I'm going to call this rocking chair core because we're going to make our bodies into the shape of that curved piece at the base of a rocking chair. Take a big inhalation, hands interlaced behind your head again. As you exhale, just like we did before, navel down, ribs in, breastbone down. Now curl your head up, and if you're able, lift your feet up. Make that curved shape in your body. Inhale, lower back down. Exhale and squeeze your front body down, curl up. Now keep your navel tacking down toward your spine as you lower back down so you have core control the whole time. Inhale, exhale, curl up, squeezing your navel down. Inhale, lower with control. 2 more like that. Exhale, curl up. Inhale, back down. Try to relax your neck, relax your face. Exhale, curl up. Good. Inhale, back down. Beautiful. Bend your knees. Lift your feet. Hug your knees in. Take a little rock side to side. Now, cross your right ankle over your left ankle. Hang on behind your thighs. And this is what some padding might be useful for. We're going to do some spinal rolls. So as you inhale, get some momentum and rock up onto your hips. And as you exhale, rock back and up again. So inhale back. And up again, and exhale back, and up again. Pause and reach for a block. Uncross your ankles, come back down onto your back. Now this is a challenging one. We're going to do a block pass between our hands and our feet. And I want you to really take it slow and feel into what you feel your body feels comfortable and capable of doing. It's really important to ask yourself, what can my body do? Not focus on what it can't do. Okay, so limit yourself within your range of motion, but challenge yourself a little bit. So let's pick the feet up, straighten the legs as straight as you can, and take your block the narrow way between your feet. Now take your arms overhead and reach behind you. Take a big breath in. As you exhale, curl your head and chest up. Reach for the block. If you need to bend your knees to get it, go ahead. Once you have the block, squeeze it between your hands, and as you inhale, slowly lower your arms and legs a little or a lot without letting your low back bridge away from the floor. Exhale, pull back up and place the block between your feet. Inhale, lower. You can set your head down for this portion. Legs only go as low as you can without letting your low back come away from the floor. Exhale, bring the block back up, curl up, grab it with your hands. Inhale, lower. Squeeze the block between your hands. Exhale, curl up. So if your core is still learning how to get strong, you only lower a little bit. Exhale. A little bit is better than none at all, right? Like this, just a little bit. Going back and forth, passing the block. But if you're getting strong, you're lowering a lot from your belly. Good, trying to smile, relax your jaw. 2 more rounds. Here's 1. And here's 2. Good. And back up. And we'll bend the knees, set the block to the side. Whew. Good. Now, scoot your hips over to the left a little bit. Pick your feet up. Guide your knees over to the right, down to the floor. Spinal twist. Reach your left arm to the left. Turn your chin to the left. You can rest your right hand on your left thigh if that feels good to you. Take a few slow, deep breaths. Let your breath slow down after that hard work in your core. Really feel that nice sense of opening in the left side of your ribs, your left side waist, your left inner shoulder. And take another deep breath on this side. Good. Rock back onto your back. Scoot your hips to center and a little off center to the right. And pick your feet up and guide your knees to the left, down to the floor. Reach your right arm to the right. Turn your chin to the right. And rest and breathe. Your knees don't have to be neatly stacked up here. You can let your legs slide forward or apart if that feels good to your body. Find a place where you can rest and relax and breathe deeply. Two more big breaths here. Nice to take a little hiatus in between some of our more challenging moves today. And then chin to center, rock back onto your back, adjust your feet to center, lift your feet up, cross your ankles in a way that feels like it's not your normal cross. Hang on behind your thighs, and let's take a couple more rock and rolls. And this time maybe you can find a little boat pose, hovering on your hips without setting your feet down. So feel into it, rock back. If you must set your feet down, do, but if you don't need to, grow long in your spine and really hug your belly in. Rock back, and up, up. Try not to put your feet down, and let's do one more. Rock back and up. Oh, excellent. Okay, we're going to transition onto hands and knees. So if you had a big blanket open like I did, you'll need to either fold it in half for padding for your knees or get it out of there altogether. Take your blocks up, one on either side to the top of your mat, and we'll come onto hands and knees, a tabletop position here. Shoulders over wrists, hips over knees, spread your fingers. Cow pose, drop your belly, lift your chest, lift your sit bones, inhale. Exhale, round your spine, tuck your tail, tuck your chin, press your breath out, round your shoulders. Inhale, cow pose. Exhale, cat pose. One more like that, inhale, cow pose. And exhale, cat pose. We'll come back to a neutral spine. We're going to do something similar, but with a different setup for our arms. So walk your hands forward at an angle, a big pace forward with your hands. I call this diving cow and rocking cat. So as you inhale, bend your elbows a little bit toward the floor and squeeze them into the midline. This will actually get your pecs and your upper chest core to turn on. Now we're going to dive the chest down and forward like you're diving into a swimming pool, and then up and out the other side. Inhale. Then cat pose, round your spine and rock your hips back without moving your hands. Then bend your elbows, hug them into the midline, dive your chest down and forward and up. This should feel gentle. Exhale, rocking cat. Rock your way back. Do another one. Inhale, squeeze your elbows in as you dive down and forward and up. Exhale, rocking cat. 2 more like this. Inhale, diving cow. Exhale, rocking cat. And 1 more. Diving cow. Loosening up our spine. Rocking cat. Now come to a neutral spine with those hands still forward at an angle for down dog. Curl your toes under. Narrow your waist, tighten your hips, hug your elbows in just like we did in diving cow, and lift your hips up and back. Let's take slow deep breaths here, in and out as we walk in place. 1 knee bends, the opposite heel reaches toward the mat. So 1 leg straight, 1 leg bent. Start to stretch your calves out. Let's hold with the right heel stretching down, the left knee bent. Really push your hands down and forward into your mat. And even here, engage your core. Tighten your ribs in, tighten your chest in a little bit, hug your elbows into the midline. Breathing deeply into the back of that right leg. Take another deep breath here. And then change sides. Left heel stretches down, right knee bends. Slow deep breaths as you hold a little bit, trying to elongate the back of your left leg, especially your calf muscles. Be mindful of hugging your elbows in, narrowing your waist, lifting your hips up and back, tightening your core a little bit. Another big breath in. And exhale, lower to your knees. We'll take a child's pose. If it feels comfortable to keep your hands out in front of you, great. Hands might come back by your feet. That might be a nice way to relax your hands here. Take a few really slow, deep breaths. And 1 more. All right, so let's start to flow a little bit. Come on up to hands and knees. Curl your toes under. Find your down dog again. Lift your hips up and back. Look forward. Hug your elbows in. Bend them a little bit. Inhale, lift your heels high. Narrow your waist. Exhale, bend your knees, rock back. And with a nice springy bounce, step or hop your feet to the top of your mat. Then fold forward over your legs. Bend your knees quite a bit. Stick your hips out and bow your head down. You can pick your hands up and hang on to opposite elbows if that feels good. Let yourself dangle. You might even sway a little bit side to side. Let's take a few more breaths here. In and out, take a look at your feet and make sure your arches are lifting. Inner ankles pulling toward the outer ankles. 1 more deep breath here. In and out. And we'll come up through chair pose. So hands to the mat. Bend your knees. Move your hips way back. Tighten your ribs. Tighten your core. Lift your chest and head. Take your arms up by your ears. Narrow your waist. Reach your hips back and down. Big breath in. Exhale. Come up to stand. Long legs. Hands to your heart. Interlace your fingers. Turn your palms forward. Take your arms out and up. Now remember on our backs when I encouraged you to take the back bend out of your spine at one point. That's what I want you to do here. Knit your front ribs in like you're trying to button a tight shirt. Lengthen your tailbone. Now keep that. Take a big inhalation. A little side bend. Tip to the right. Move your hips to the left. Inhale, back up to center. Tip to the left, hips to the right. Back up to center. Inhale. Unwind your fingers. Bring your arms down. Separate your feet a little wider than your hips and angle your toes out. At about 30 to 45 degrees, heels in, hands to your heart. We're going to squat. Take a big inhalation. First, tip your butt back, chest forward, then bend your knees. Look down and make sure your knees and toes align. Now, tighten your belly, narrow your whole waist, tighten your front ribs in and sink down a little lower. Inhale, back up to stand, stretch your arms up. Hands to your heart, tip forward, then bend your knees, sink down. Inhale, stretch up. Exhale, squat, sink down. Good, stretch up, inhale. Work from your core, not just your legs. Exhale, 1 more like that. Inhale, stretch up. And exhale, sink down. Plant your hands, plank pose. Step your feet back. Shoulders over wrists. Feet go a little wider than your hips. Now externally rotate your arms, so you're turning your inner elbows forward. Tighten your belly. Feel free to put your knees down if you need to. Take a big inhale. I call this tipsy plank. We're going to tip our heels to the right. If your knees are down, you sway your hips to the right. Heels to the right. Hips stay pretty low, but right side waist tightens in. Inhale back to center. Heels to the left. If your knees are down, hips sway to the left. Good. Inhale, back to center. Side to side. Tip your heels to the right. Inhale, back up. Tip your heels to the left. Inhale, back up. One more. Tip your heels to the right. Back up, inhale. Tip your heels to the left. Stay strong in your arms. Inhale, back up. Now put your knees down. Let's try forearm plank with knees down. Right forearm comes down. Left forearm comes down. Okay, so you're on your forearms there. Hug your elbows in like you're squeezing a beach ball between them. Tighten your ribs and maybe curl your toes under and pick your knees up. Good. Let yourself tremble. It's a good sign that you're getting stronger. Front body into back body. Big breath in. Exhale, knees down, hips down. Sphinx pose. Lift your chest up. Good. Take a few deep breaths. In and out. Stretching your belly here. But even here, draw your belly back just a little bit. So you have core support. Lengthen your tailbone. If you want a slightly deeper back bend, draw your throat back. Press into your hands and lift your elbows a little or a lot, but hug them into the midline. Big inhalation. Lower back down if you lift it up. Two more. Inhale. You might just be lifting your chest. You might also lift your elbows. Exhale. Lower back down. And one more. Inhale. Lift up. Exhale. Lower all the way down. Hands next to your side ribs. Press up to hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Hands forward a pace. Curl your toes under. Lift your hips up and back. Now on your next inhalation, take your right leg up and back, one-legged dog. As you exhale, knee to nose, round your back. Give a kick. Step as far forward as you can, up to your right thumb. If your foot doesn't make it up, put your left knee down for a moment and walk it on up. Okay, we're all going to walk on up. Here your blocks might really be useful to you. If you have trouble making these transitions, and you put your knees down and just step on through to a lunge using your blocks. Okay, once you're here, right hand up to your right thigh, left hand up to your right thigh. Lift your chest up, and then knit your front ribs in. You want your pelvis to come forward, your tailbone to stay long, and your belly to stay engaged. Now interlace your fingers, turn your palms forward, take your arms out and up. And start to breathe deeply, containing your front body so you have core support, but finding that stretch down the front of your left thigh. Nice deep breaths in and out. Let's take one more like that. And unwind your fingers, hands to the mat, step back, down dog. Here we go for that second side. Left leg up and back, inhale. Use your blocks if you prefer. Exhale, knee to nose. Give a kick, use your belly. Step as far forward as you can. Walk it up if you need to. Put your right knee down, take your hands up to your left thigh. Belly back, front ribs in. But try to let your pelvis come forward at least a little bit. Interlace your fingers. Turn your palms up. Breathe deeply. So we're picking up the pace now, but can you stay calm even when things get intense? Slow, deep breaths here. One more. And exhale, unwind your fingers, downward facing dog. Now lower to your knees for a moment. Your arms are forward at that down dog angle. And we're going to take a diving cow to rocking cat. Inhale, bend your elbows, dive your chest down and forward and up. And then round your spine, rocking cat. Rock your hips back without moving your hands. Bend your elbows, dive down, forward and up. Exhale, rock it back. And again, inhale, diving cow. Rocking cat all the way to child's pose for a few breaths. So give your breath a chance to slow down a little bit. One more here. Good. Come on up to hands and knees. So we're going to do that whole sequence again. Downward facing dog. Elbows hug in, toes curl under. Lift your hips up and back. Narrow your waist. Tighten your front ribs in. Inhale, look forward, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, rock back. Step or hop your feet forward to your hands. Forward fold at the top of your mat. Inhale, bend your knees, chair pose. Lift your chest, cinch in around your waist. Exhale, up to stand, hands to your heart. Interlace your fingers with the opposite pinky than normal on the outside. And we'll be doing this whole flow that way. Turn your palms forward, arms out and up. Big breath in, tighten your ribs, lengthen your tailbone, side bend to the right. Hips to the left a little bit. Inhale, back up. Side bend to the left, hips to the right a little bit. Back up, inhale. Unwind your fingers, bring your arms down. Separate your feet a little wider than your hips, toes out, heels in, hands to your heart. Arms stretch up, inhale. Hands to your heart again, tip your butt back, then bend your knees and squat using your belly. Inhale, up to stand, arms up. Hands to your heart, squat. One more, inhale, stretch up. Exhale, squat. Hands to the mat, step back, plank pose. Tipsy plank with perhaps more of a challenge. Widen your feet a little bit. Big breath in, grip your fingers, externally rotate your arms. Exhale, heels to the right. Maybe side plank, left arm up. Big breath in, exhale, plank, heels to the left. Inhale, option, right arm up. Exhale, plank, heels to the right, that might be enough. Or inhale, side plank. Exhale, plank, heels to the left. That might be enough. Or inhale, side plank. One more. Exhale, plank, heels to the right. Side plank option. Exhale, plank, heels to the left. Side plank option, inhale. Exhale, plank. Now feel free to put your knees down for forearm plank, or left forearm goes down, right forearm goes down. Elbows under shoulders, squeeze your elbows in. Tighten your ribs, look down. Tighten your chest, tighten your belly. Deep breaths. Relax your jaw. Gotta let yourself smile a little bit. Big inhalation. Knees down, pelvis down. Chest lifts up, point your toes, Sphinx pose. And stay here and breathe, or inhale, lift your elbows a little or a lot. Belly comes with you, exhale, elbows go down. You can stay here, or inhale, lift up. Exhale, down. And one more, inhale, lift up. Exhale, all the way down. Hands next to your side ribs. Inhale, hands and knees. Downward facing dog. Exhale. If you have trouble stepping through from a down dog to that lunge, put your knees down, use your blocks. Otherwise, right leg goes up and back. Knee to chest, shoulders over wrist, round your back, make space, then try stepping through. Left knee down when you're ready. Tighten your belly, come right up, interlace opposite pinky than normal on the outside. Palms turn up toward the ceiling. Breathe into your lunge. Pelvis forward, belly back, tailbone long. Hips are squaring to the top of the mat. Relax your jaw, relax your neck. 2 more breaths here. One more. And unwind your fingers, hands to the mat, downward facing dog. Take a breath or two, elongate your side body, broaden your shoulders, narrow your waist, stretch your heels down. When you're ready, either use your blocks or left leg up and back, inhale. Knee to nose round, give a kick, step, right knee comes down, come right on up, interlace your fingers, turn your palms up. Pelvis forward, left hip hugs back a little bit, right hip forward for that squared hip effect. Belly back, ribs in, breathing long in your side body. Last 2. And 1. Good, and unwind your fingers, hands come down, down dog. Now an option to come to hands and knees and take a diving cow to rocking cat. But if you're feeling energetic, bend both knees. I call this diving cow, and we're going to take it to up dog. Bend your elbows, look forward. Inhale, dive your chest down and forward, then straighten your legs, straighten your arms, keep your toes curled under, roll your shoulders back, open your chest. Exhale, bend your knees, tighten your belly, lift your hips up and back, down dog. If that felt okay, let's try it again. Inhale, diving cow, elbows bend and squeeze in, up dog, toes curl under. Exhale, down dog. One more. Inhale, bend knees, bent elbows, dive through. Keep your belly engaged. Up dog. Down dog. Exhale. And one final child's pose here. Lower down. Rest your hips back on your heels. And breathe. Now, in this child's pose, I'm going to give you an option to move into a shoulder stretch. And if this doesn't feel good in your body, just stay in your child's pose. So rest on your forehead, interlace your fingers behind your hips, lift the front of your shoulders away from the floor. And rabbit pose, lift the weight of your hips, bring them forward, come onto the crown of your head, and lift your knuckles up toward the ceiling. Keep most of your weight in your knees, you're very light on the crown of your head. And breathe deeply there as you stretch your inner shoulders, inner arms. You can kind of wiggle your fist a little side to side to deepen that stretch. Good, 2 more like that. And slowly put your hips down, unwind your fingers, find your way out of your child's pose and onto your hips with your feet out in front of you. We're going to come down onto our backs and you're going to want to block within reach. Okay, so give yourself room to recline. Hang on to your shins. Take a deep breath and sit up tall. Exhale, slowly roll yourself all the way down onto your back. And we did a lot of good strengthening work for the core. So we're going to start with a little inner thigh stretch. Pick your feet up. Your inner thighs are an important component of your core. Open your knees wide. Bring your feet together. Reach your hands between your knees. So we're doing a reclined Baddha Konasana here. Hang on to your outer shins, outer ankles if you can reach them, or even outer feet. We're looking for an inner thigh stretch. So if you don't feel a stretch, start to squeeze your outer knees forward and imagine your kneecaps traveling in opposite directions, to the right and to the left. Now breathe deeply. Once you find an inner thigh stretch, just stay there and breathe, breathe, breathe. So core practice can be very empowering, but it can also feel a little discouraging if you feel like you're not very strong quite yet. Can you remind yourself that good things take time? Things like strength building, they take time and patience. But focus on what your body has right now, the many things it can do. Let's take one more big breath here. And try to shift your focus away from what you don't have yet. And gently relax your feet down to the floor. Grab your block. Knees are bent. Lift your hips up. We're going to come into a supported bridge. Take your block the low height underneath your hips and try that out. Low height the wide way, and you need to feel that block underneath your sacrum, which is the widest, flattest part of the back of your pelvis. And if this feels comfortable and you want to try something a little stretchier for the front of the body, you can lift your hips again and take your block the narrow way, the wide way. Or if you're bendy, and lift your hips and try the tall height. And I personally like the narrow way with the block. Helps to kind of settle your sacrum down into your body so you can feel into it. If you take the tall height, you might have to kind of lift your heels to get that block under there. But whatever you choose, you want to feel no strain in your low back whatsoever, no strain in your neck. You want to be able to relax, arms by your sides, palms up. And then settle in. After all the tightening work that we did for the front of the body, it's really important to stretch those muscles out again so we don't get so tight and crunched down that we start to feel like Quasimodo, right? So we're relaxing the belly, the chest, the front ribs, relaxing the front of the hips, the hip flexors. And for some of us with tighter quads, you'll feel a gentle stretch in your quads as well. So let yourself rest. And begin to breathe really deeply in and out through your nose. So think of this as the very beginning stages of relaxation. And if you love the way you're feeling right now, you feel like you could stay here for another 5 to 10 minutes, then stay as you are. If you're ready to transition to a more traditional Shavasana or relaxation shape, then lift your hips up, slide your block out, set it to the side, slowly roll down along your spine. Pick your feet up, hug your knees in, take a little rock side to side. And you might even, I'm going to scooch forward so I have room to do this. We're going to take a little modified plow pose. You might even bring your knees back into your chest. And then gently boost your hips and take your legs over your face, so feet come over your head, but not like a full plow pose. Keep a lot of weight in your mid-upper back. Okay, so we're just elongating the back of the body. This is more like a forward fold, a Paschimottanasana, than it is like a Halasana plow pose. And if you can't get your hips to lift like this, you're just lying on your back, hugging your knees in. Last 2 breaths. And if you're in this modified plow pose, slowly roll your hips back down to the mat, bend your knees, and get yourself set up for relaxation. Your body needs to be comfortable and warm in order to fully relax. So you might need to cover up with a blanket or use a blanket as a little pillow. So you decide what you need. When you're ready, like a rag doll if you can, so your legs are long, arms come by your sides, a little wider than your shoulders, palms up. Close your eyes. Bring your attention to the rise and fall of your breath. Feel your breath coming in through your nose, back out through your nose. Feel your lungs filling up and then emptying. As you focus on that rhythmic, hypnotic rise and fall of your breath, feel the effects that it has on your body. After all of that hard physical exertion, feel now how on your exhalations your body really wants to let go. Give yourself permission to rest back into the support of the floor beneath you. Feel your hands and feet relaxing. Feel your arms and legs relaxing. Feel your shoulders relaxing. Your hips relaxing. Feel your back relaxing. Try to focus for a moment on the feeling of your breath rising and falling in your back muscles. Feel your chest and belly relaxing. Focus for a moment on the feeling of your breath rising and falling in your chest, in your belly. Notice how each time you exhale, you have another opportunity to relax more deeply. relaxing. Feel your jaw relaxing. Feel your forehead relaxing. Feel your scalp relaxing. Feel your whole body relaxing. Feel your mind becoming as still as your body. And now begin to deepen your inhalations. Breathe awareness into your hands and feet. We'll wake them up by gently moving your fingers, moving your toes. On your next in-breath, stretch your arms overhead, reach your legs long. Take a big inhalation like you're waking up from a nap, stretching out. Side out through your mouth. Bring your arms down to your sides. Bend your knees one at a time. Roll to one side. Support your head for a moment with your arm or a blanket or a block. And take another deep breath in and out. Slowly use the strength of your arms to walk yourself up sideways. And once you've found your way into a comfortable seat, stretch your arms open, take a big breath in. Hands to your heart. Namaste. Thanks for practicing with me today. Have a great day.